Oh, no. Shit. Carl and Brendan here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. Ignore the Christmas, where this isn't a Christmas reaction. It is a normal reaction, but considering the band, any weird outfit works. It's freaking Avatar, a band that should need no introduction, a band that has had a phenomenal last, let's be honest, 4 to 5 years. A band that's one of the few that kind of came out of the pandemic period stronger than they went into it potentially. They might argue differently, I guess, financially and stuff like that. But just from an outside perspective, looking at what they were able to do, what they were able to transform and so on, they're a band that only seems to be growing in stature. We're both huge fans, arguably you more than me, but still both big fans. And they have a new album called Dance Devil Dance on February 17th, 2023. And the latest single from the album, The Dirt I'm Buried In, has been released. That's what we're going to check out. And I was going to say, I guess, got anything to add on Avatar that you haven't said a bazillion times before?
No, I like them. They're great. I'm looking forward to this. Like the initial song from the album, the song Dance Devil Dance. You know, so yeah, I mean, I'm excited. So yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, let's not hang about. It's Avatar. It's 5 minutes long. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go. And he's alone in the woods.
Run into that in the woods there.
Oh, no. Shit.
Little stage, man.
Okay. Okay. Expect the unexpected with Avatar, eh?
Yep. Kind of disco vibe, isn't it?
Of course. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep.
Avatar's tour life is, well, as unusual as you would expect. All the freaks come out to play, which feels very fitting. The video is very, very silly. The video is very in fun. It certainly can add that to it. Musically, it's very weird. It's very different, but it's very catchy as well.
Yeah, it is very catchy. Very fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I think I suppose it's one of the reasons why I love Avatar so much is because there is an element of I genuinely don't know what I'm gonna get from really almost like it's not just album to album, it's song to song.
Yeah.
You know. The only thing I know is that it'll probably be different. I think that's probably my only kind of guarantee with Avatar is it's unlikely I'm going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks that come out in a row where I go, oh, that's all a very similar style and sound, you know, and that's why I love them because I think like that keeping me on my toes sort of thing, you know, it's quite poppy.
Yes.
I think, you know, they've got kind of like a disco vibe almost at the beginning of it.
When that kicked in immediately, I think we both were like, okay, right, that's interesting. Let's see where this goes.
You know, it's got video. I don't even know what to say about it. The video's comical. It's entertaining.
Yeah,
it's a bit silly and stupid. Don't get me wrong, but like not in a oh that's stupid. Like more in a oh that's quirky stupid, you know, sort of stuff. But you know, like Johannes has range. We know he can. We know he can do the heaviest shit, and we also know the guy can sing, man.
Yeah,
and you know. I think across the course of an album, knowing where this sits and all that sort of stuff. For me, I really enjoyed it. I think this is a great fun track.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it excites me more for the album. I was looking forward to it after Dance Devil Dance, but then like you know, because me and my daughter are fans, we're almost like fans together on this thing, like on a kind of Avatar journey. God knows where we'll end up, but that's where we are. You know, so a little bit of me is also kind of like I would have been really like almost sad. I would have loved it, but I would have been sad like if Avatar were like, all right, look, our next album just gonna be like a brutal death metal album,
right?
Like, do you know what I mean? So like, I want to see this kind of quirk that like we've seen over the last few albums. I want to see the difference. I want to see them being imaginative and creative, and that's what that gave to me. So, you know, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I think you've kind of highlighted as well. It's going to be very interesting to see where this fits and sits amongst the eventual album as well, because that'll be quite interesting. I've a lot of faith in Avatar not put it in an odd place where it feels like it's disjointed or anything like that. And it's just to be no like arguments about, oh my God, it's not a heavy track or anything like that. I think from the general sort of Avatar fan base, because if that's what you should know, that Avatar have a wide array of styles of music in different directions and stuff like that. But ultimately, I think when you're going to do choruses that are that, because had you kind of like the verses and stuff like that, if we hadn't hit such a chorus that was so infectious there, so damn catchy and so damn memorable, I can hear it in my head now already, and I feel like I'm going to have that one stuck in my head for a little while, then it might have amounted to nothing. But even still, as it goes on, you get a really cool guitar solo as well. I thought it really, really sounded really clean, really clear and stuff like that. It's interesting because I almost want to hear that song without the distraction of the video, because that's a very watchable video where you're kind of waiting to see what odd thing happens next.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So on.
I mean,
so
even
hearing
as
it
you said
without
that, you said like the solo, and I started smiling because I'm just seeing like Tim walking through the woods with like 2 werewolves either side and a vampire and Johannes rolling through the woods playing guitar. And it's just like, yeah, it is
What do you make?
distracting.
What do you make of the look they're going for in this album?
Um, I don't understand the context of it yet. Like, do you know what I mean? But I do understand that our Avatar are always trying to and succeeding in my mind, it to evolve on every
Hmm.
album. So it's important for them to change, I think, style, image, everything like that. So I don't really care.
Hmm.
Like I don't like, again, I'm almost just like kind of cool with the fact they are, like if you look at the way that the look is designed for certain albums, isn't it? That's what they do, so it's difficult to know how much the look marries up with the album yet.
Of course, yeah,
But if you look at, I don't know, Avatar Country, that had a
yeah.
particular style which it needed to be, just kind of going for the court jester sort of thing, you know. Um,
Hmm.
I've gone completely blank, but the most recent album with Colossus and everything like that is they
There's a lot
went,
more stripped back, wasn't it?
yeah, but they went for like the kind of blacks with like patches of red, almost like a
Yeah,
sci-fi kind of vibe, with it. And I think like the image and the album, like I think Avatar, I think I've seen them say this in an interview before, is like they see it as a whole like piece.
yeah.
It's not just the songs, isn't it, on its own? It's the way, it's the band, it's the way they carry themselves,
The
it's the
thatch
characters and the
theatrics.
personas, theatrics, the way that they dress and the way that they look.
Yeah.
I have no doubts in my mind that whatever the reasons for this dress is, that it will become apparent and make perfect sense when I hear this album. Like, I trust them in that, you know.
For me, right, it's kind of obviously, I think there's a hark back to sort of old school, particularly in regards to makeup and elements like that. But the red and black look as well, it's
Hmm.
kind of like it's patches as well. I've got it kind of frozen my screen here. So I don't know, like I'm kind of like, okay, the way the big shoulder pads as well, are we doing a kind of Michael Jackson Thriller look here kind of thing, like color scheme and how the big and like the trousers with the kind of like bit that comes out the side. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm jumping at that one, but yeah, it just kind of like it was notable, particularly because when we first see Johannes at the start of the video, that looks like immediately like, except it's like that feels very old school Avatar. Like that's a kind of
Yeah.
throwback look almost to a certain degree, but obviously evolved. Maybe that's where they're at now. I mean, they're so far into their careers and so many albums that it is now a matter of this is what we are, this is where we've been, this is what we are now evolving to, while still paying tribute to the past.
I think like my understanding from interviews, and I think even interviews that we like have done with them at
Mm,
GBHBL, like and I have so much respect and like appreciation of it, is that whole idea that Avatar is like, it's more than just a band. It's like an almost like an entity,
entity.
and they as individuals need to evolve. They can't be that sort of band that just does this style of music and we release album after album. And yeah, it's good. And if we might dabble a bit, but we're just melodic death metal, or you know what I mean? We just do that. I can kind of like in my head like imagine that when an album cycle comes around for these guys, it isn't a case of getting the guys in a room jamming some riffs, um, formulating some lyrics and songs and trying to piece together 10 tracks. It's not like that. I would imagine it's a fucking mammoth operation, which
Yeah,
includes drawing out set designs. How are we going to look? What's the makeup going to be? What's the concept, kind of like, even if it's not a proper concept, but like the loose concept that we're going for? What are we feeling this time around? Like, how do we
yeah.
want to move into? And I think that's fucking amazing, because I don't think there's an awful lot of bands that go to the level of detail that I think Avatar will have in this album, based on what I've seen from them in the past, which is there will probably be an exact reason in Johannes's mind for why he's wearing a black cravat.
Yes,
Do you
there
know what
will
I mean?
be.
Like, to that level of detail.
Now, it should be noted that you talked about interviews. If you go back and watch the interview we did with John, a drummer from Avatar at Bloodstock, I think I'd asked him something lines like, at the time, I said, what was particularly exciting for him currently in the Avatar camp? And he chose to say, because we weren't talking about new music at all, he brought up the new album and
Mm.
said that in his opinion, he was, I remember he was like, oh yeah, I think it's the best thing we've ever done. And then he was like, oh, I shouldn't really say that because it's arrogant. And he went, fuck it, no, it is the best music we've
Yeah,
ever done. So that was back in August. So yeah, they were quite clear what they had in their hands.
yeah. I mean, it excites me. I do think, like you said, But I think I already know the answer. Like to me, is that like I'll put that on my music player now and I'll listen to that where the video isn't there, it's a distraction, and I'm still thinking I'm going to be like, yeah, this track is great. I do think like watching the video, it is definitely distracting. Do you know what I mean? Like it absolutely is because I'm watching what are they doing, what are they up to? Yeah, some of the stuff like I even now I don't even know exactly what the giant fucking shrouded sort of death like cloak figure was
Seem to
about.
be seem to be jiving though towards the music at the end.
Yeah, he had an avatar patch on by the end of it, so that was kind of cool.
Okay, that's the Dirt and Buried in, the new Avatar track. What do you reckon? You got any thoughts on it? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?